So beef pilau. I'm going to be showing you how to make beef pilau at your home in a few steps. You don't need so many ingredients. It's not as fancy as people make it come out to be, but trust me, you can make this with a few steps. So go ahead with the beef, cut it up into small pieces, moderate, moderate pieces, chunks of meat, cut it into small pieces. We're going to go ahead and boil this meat. But before I boil, I want you to remember that we're going to go in with our grated ginger. We need grated ginger because it brings a special flavor to the meat. So yeah, I usually put ginger in my meat before I boil it and add a little bit of salt. Trust me, this does a very huge difference. There is a very difference with meat that is boiled without salt and meat that is boiled with salt. So in this particular case, I advise you to always put in the salt before you boil. Yes, because you'll need it. Anyway, this is what I'm going to be using for the pilau. This is pilau masala, got it from the market. This is grated tomatoes. There's a mediumly sized chopped onions, that is curry powder, and that is tomato paste. And that is what I'm going to be using for today. Just keep watching. You don't really need so much of the ingredients. So what you go in with the moderate, medium oil, not so much, not so little, just enough. Go in with the onions. I want you to realize my onions are not, cut into small pieces. I cut them into big pieces for a specific reason that you will understand at the end. Yes. Now, after going in with the onions, you have to make sure you cook them until they are caramelized, like this color. Yes. Not entirely burnt. Yes. Then after this, the oil is going to be so hot at this point. That's why I'm adding in a little bit of water. Yes, just a little before I go to the next step. So I'm adding a little bit of water, stir around, and thicken, the entire thing going on right now. And then I want you to look at the onions. Yes, this is exactly what we want. Don't worry about the size. It will all come together at the end. You'll see it. Anyway, because of the water, the oil is actually making a little bit of bubbles, but that's fine. That's totally okay. The next step is to go in with our meat pieces. Remember, the meat pieces are boiled. You just go in with all of them into these onions. You just put in all the meat pieces straight from your soup. Anyway, by the way, don't forget, don't throw away the broth. We need the broth. So you're going to go ahead and keep stirring. You keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring with the onions. We want this meat to be flavorful too. So do it for quite some good time. By the way, cook all this on low heat. Yes. After the onions, use low heat starting on because trust me, you need the flavor. Now what you're going to do is when this meat is really nicely colored, I think you can see the color on the meat. You're going to, I think, see what I'm showing you? The meat is that rich brown that if somebody eats the meat in the pilau, they can see a difference. So now I'm going to go in with my tomatoes. Remember, these tomatoes are grated. You keep stirring until the tomatoes are ready. You know, cover up for a bit, but keep stirring. The tomatoes have to be well, like well done, like really, really ready. Give it some time, low heat, and be patient. Everything is going to work out. Anyway, so after a few minutes, this is what I have. I think you can see that the colors even changed. The meat is now no longer brownish. It has now the tomato color on it. Now the next step is go in with your tomato paste. Now this gives a really beautiful color. Keep stirring. By the way, tomato paste burns up quickly if you're not careful with it. So you have to keep stirring. This is the stage where I expect you to be serious and keep stirring. Stir until the tomato paste is ready. But it gets ready in a few minutes, so it's not a big deal. Just keep stirring, and after you're getting the tomato paste is exactly where you want it to be, is when you're going to go in with the spices. But just keep doing it. In this case, as I told you, we're going to use pilau masala and we're going to use curry powder. I use the Simbabili curry powder. You could use any other curry powder around you. I just like Simbambili just for that. So here you go. As you can see, I'm going in my pilau masala. I got this from my market lady. You can get this from your nearest supermarket. You can get this from the market. I usually prefer the local one. The local pilau masala has a really flavorful taste. You will understand when you try it. But anyway, I'm going in with a little bit, not too much. I'm not using all that. I'm just using a little of the curry powder. Keep stirring, keep stirring. you know By the way, you get to know the quantity of what to use by smelling what you're cooking. The smell shows you. For example, like right now, while I was cooking, I realized I'm not getting the pilau smell that I want. So I decided, do you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of, extra pilau masala. You should make pilau, and your neighbors come out saying, "Ooh, neighbor is really cooking pilau." Trust me, that's what shows a good pilau. So I decided to add a little bit of pilau masala, just like you can see. I need I need the flavor. I need everything. The smell has to be perfect. Like everything has to be on point. That is exactly why you're making pilau. This is a delicacy, my dear. This is a delicacy. I'm telling you, this is a delicacy. You have to make it the perfect way or not. Anyway, this is what we have, my darlings. Now we're going to go ahead and get our rice. I'm using long basmati rice. Yeah. Use whatever rice you have, your preferred rice. Just put in the rice and keep stirring until you do not see that the rice is still white. It's now the color of, the meat. Keep stirring and stirring. And you should know the measurements. For example, for this basmati rice, it is 1 to 2, like 1 cup of rice and then 2 cups of water. So yes, don't forget, we're not using water, we're using broth. The soup that came from the pilau, I mean from the meat, is what we are going to use. We're not going to use what? To use water. Don't forget that. So don't throw away the water that came from the meat, the broth. You're going to need it. Keep stirring, and after that, I'm adding in my broth. I think I can say it. I'm going to be adding my broth. Yes, there goes my broth. Keep stirring, keep stirring. Now, after, I think you can even see it's already having that pilau color, that darkish color. Okay, well, it's all going to come together in the end. Just keep doing this. Now, remember, I'm not adding salt because I had already put enough salt in the broth, though you can taste and see if you need more salt. Now, at this point, there is something I usually do for my pilau, and it has always really helped me with the taste of the pilau, and that is adding a Royco cube. A Royco cube is a beef seasoning. Yes, it is more of a beef seasoning. It has a rich taste. Trust me. Just add a piece of it. You sprinkle it in the sauce. By the way, it's salty, so be careful with the salt. Then you cover up. You can put a foil, but my pan is not letting any heat out, so I'm covering it up. Look at what we have. Our pilau is ready. Delicious. It smells amazing. Y'all should come and get this smell. It's so beautiful. I'm sure the neighbors are crying for help anyway. This rice is really, really nice. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the color. Look at the meat. Woo, this is the real deal. I'm telling you. I am telling you. This is what you should be having on a daily. You deserve it. And by the way, about the onions, do you realize there are no onions in the rice? It's because I cut big pieces. They blended in with the rice. See? That was a very good idea. Anyway, by the way, please don't leave without subscribing. We're trying to grow the channel. Don't leave without liking, comment, share with your friends. We're trying to grow this channel, and I want to create a very big family. Go in the comments and talk to me. I will reply. I want to be besties with you. And by the way, if you like this pilau recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, and try it up. Try it out and let me know. I really need to know how it went. And thank you so much for watching this video. Follow me on all my socials on Instagram. Find me as Christella's Kitchen.